Scottplex City.
Marks.
Scottplex City.
Marks.
Scottplex City.
Marks.
Scottplex City.
Marks.
Hey, what up? Welcome back, Scottplex City. We back at it. We here. Scott B's right there.
Yeah, we here.
I'm Scott Pank. I gotta say, this week was doable. We were talking last night, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like an easy week, actually. We don't have to like rush to fit anything in or anything. There's only 2 things going on this week. You're like...
there was a pay-per-view on Sunday, remember?
I was like, oh, that's right. But for some reason, maybe I'm getting used to it now that it's a couple of them, but I was like...
Get into the flow of it, yeah.
I was like, hey, actually, it doesn't seem too much. And I kind of watched a little bit in more real time this week than what I normally do, because sometimes, like... Well, Raw, I'll be behind, so then I'll delay SmackDown a little bit. But whatever, we here. Good week of wrestling. Pay-per-view. Let's start off with that, and we'll mix in with SmackDown and all that good stuff. We'll get going into that in a second. There's actually some outside-the-ring stuff I want to bring up real quick. Let's start with Paige.
What's going on with her?
I think that she is in a situation to where she's young, dumb, and in love. And she is picking up characteristics and traits and habits that her lover, I quoted that if you're watching the video, you see my that her lover does, because some of the stories that you've told me, you've said a little bit more off air than you've said on air, but you've already told the stories about how Del Rio came into the club and looking for the girls and some stuff and all this and just looking to have a good time and party and, you know, just looking to get wild, let's just say, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And it sounds like that's what Paige is doing, because she was dropped with a 60-day suspension now. Second wellness violation. And
originally she had said something like it was for some prescription medication for her neck. But then the WWE came right back and said, no, this isn't some sort of prescription medicine. This is some sort of illegal substance. Yeah. So what was it? Was it weed? Was it cocaine? Was it something?
I don't think they make a big deal out of weed.
I would think they wouldn't make anything that bad out of weed. Exactly.
So this is what WWE came out. This is according to the New York
Post.
Yeah, the Post here. And they say, how do you say her real name?
Serena?
Is it
Saraya?
Saraya. That's
Saraya.
Saraya,
that's it.
Saraya Jade Bevis?
No, it's not Beavis, Bevis.
It is Bevis? So
Shut
she
up,
tested
Bevis.
positive. She tested positive for an illegal substance, not a prescription drug. Because the original claims was that she went to a doctor, like we were reporting last week, which was that she had a prescription from another doctor, but
it wasn't a WWE doctor. It wasn't somebody that was on the WWE's wellness policy list. It's a whole weird story there, and then it turns out that nothing to do with prescription drugs. It's something
illegal,
hard.
So, I mean, we're going to see what happens here, but I'm pretty much saying Paige is on her way out the door.
She's done.
It's unfortunate, and it would have made great timing for her to really make a comeback now, especially with the challenge that was put on for, what the hell pay-per-view is that one?
Survivor Series.
Just because I said I'm getting used to it doesn't mean I got my stuff together.
Well, because when you have 17 pay-per-views a year now, it's going to be like, okay, which one are we at now? Okay.
But they, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but with the Survivor Series, there's going to be a 5-on-5 women's match, and that would have been perfect for Paige.
She could have been put in there somewhere,
She could have came out and shined.
But she would have been back by then, obviously.
Exactly. So
possibly, because since she's got the whole neck thing going on, who knows?
But it would have been a great opportunity, needless to say. Even if she just did, she had very limited time in the ring, and they protected her. It would have been a great move for her, but, yeah, that's really unfortunate for Paige. So, it was nice watching you. I guess we'll see you in, Ring of Honor or Lucha
or TNA.
TNA's rebrand. Because that looks like it's going to be happening, too. From, the talks of Billy Corgan, you read between the lines, it sounds like it's happening. All right, so let's jump in here. No Mercy happened this weekend. Pretty good pay-per-view. all in all, I would say it's like a 7 out of 10.
Probably,
It had
yeah.
its moments, and it didn't have its moments. The championship match, we'll start off with that real quick.
Because that's what the pay-per-view started with. I think WWE was just a little nervous with a big-time football game.
Right.
Plus, they had the presidential debate. So they're like, okay, let's get this match
Before all that
before all
started.
that stuff happens, yeah.
Which was smart. I really, truly
Sure.
think it does, because I think they lost a lot of viewers to the debate or the game. Let's just be real here. I don't know what the numbers were on that debate, but the first one brought in like 84 million,
Yep.
so I'm going to assume it
Probably.
might have did more numbers because of everything all the stuff that's been coming out over the past week. So say if you got 80 million people tuning into that, then you get another 15 million people tuning into Sunday Night Football. How many people you really got left that's watching
not
the
too many.
product? Like, let's just be...
Just diehards and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Not your casual fans.
I don't really like how the match ended. I actually hate the way that it ended. The fact that they had the double pin on AJ.
I mean, the double submission.
Yeah, double submission on AJ. He tapped out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the match restarted because you can't say, hey, Cena and Dean are champion here. And then all of a
Which is
sudden
strange,
AJ gets in
because
there.
if they say that two people can't submit the guy at the same time, why not just be like, have them tap, like, I can't do nothing, I can't end it. Both, why'd they stop it? It makes no sense.
Maybe I'm nitpicking here, but I don't like that ending. I thought that was garbage for a feud that I think's been one of the highlights, and I think that this feud has kind of gone down a little bit over the past week here. But that was just a crappy ending, man.
But at the same time, they can have both Cena and Dean Ambrose say, we made this guy tap out, we deserve a rematch and all that kind of stuff. That to me,
That's how they justify
That's how they
it?
can justify something like that. That would be my thought.
Is Cena really staying around?
I don't know what he's doing.
I don't think he
Because
is.
he wasn't on SmackDown. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, AJ Styles still champion. It was a good match up until the ending. I don't know what you were thinking, WWE.
I didn't mind it. It wasn't bad to me.
Then the following night, or 2 nights later on SmackDown, they had, what's his face?
James Ellsworth. That was such a great segment. I mean, the match was obviously garbage because it was supposed to be garbage, but just Dean Ambrose is the referee. You know, all of a sudden he gets a calf crusher on Ellsworth, and Ambrose, he's got a phone call. Oh, yeah, I got something going on.
AJ Styles is fighting Ellsworth.
Yes.
If you didn't know. Yeah,
Yes.
so he gets a phone call.
He gets a phone call, and Ellsworth's tapping out, and of course Ambrose doesn't see it. Then at another point, Ambrose rolls out to the ring. There's some hot-looking woman at ringside, and he's like taking selfies with her and stuff like that. The whole thing was absolutely hilarious.
I thought it was all right. It was funny.
I laughed.
It definitely was funny. I told you that this guy reminds me of Gilbert.
Gilbert, kind of a modern-day Gilbert, yeah.
It definitely is a
'Cause
modern
everyone's
day.
kind of behind him, you know.
If they could somehow have Gilbert come back and fight Ellsworth at whatever pay-per-view we're going to get, maybe Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at, that would be classic. Have that as like the, what's that thing called? The pre-match?
Yeah.
The pre-show match? That would be
funny.
That would be legendary. But we'll get into that in just a few minutes here. But, I was talking to someone today, talking to Cody, all right? He's a buddy of ours, guy that works here around the station and stuff, and he said he was flipping around television last night and landed on that actual moment with Ellsworth and AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. And he said that wasn't really what he would want to see as a casual fan. He's like, he thought some of it was kind of funny with the Dean, but... So did they go too far? Was that really just a moment for the true wrestling fan?
I think it was something for the true wrestling fan.
Because SmackDown is more of a true
Absolutely.
wrestling show, right?
Yeah, true. Because they seem to pack in all the action because they have the 2 hours. Raw has the 3 hours, so they can fiddle with stuff a little bit and have a little more entertainment in there, not so much wrestling because they got to fill all that time. But I didn't mind it. But of course, I'm a diehard fan, but I thought it was funny. It was something different, and I liked the way they went about it. It just kind of keeps on extending that feud between Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles.
Yeah, they definitely need to extend the feud because I don't know where else they really go because with just that, to wrap that up there, I think it was pretty good. If you're a wrestling fan and you like wrestling, you watch it, it was a good moment in the show. But if you're like a newbie, maybe that wasn't the moment for you. But it had its potential, and this Ellsworth, he's getting what's happening next week, though?
I think he's getting a title shot next week.
And Rusev tweeted out last night that Ellsworth's had more title shots than he has now.
Yes.
Think about that.
Well, you obviously know next.
Gilbert, Ellsworth.
Yeah. I think he's obviously
One and
going to
the
get
same.
squashed, and I don't know
Yeah.
what they're going to do, but obviously the guy's going to get squashed. He's not going to win the title.
If he does, that's just
that would just be
mind blowing. I hope
crazy.
to God that don't happen. That's like some WCW crap when they had what's his face.
Oh, David Arquette, yeah.
Oh my God, that was just like, what were you guys doing? But other than that, I mean, who else would you move up into the main event scene? Because Miz and Dolph, they're
still going. They're still going.
continuing on at the pay-per-view. Dolph Ziggler, he defeated The Miz to win the championship, which was...
That was an incredible match.
Definitely.
Awesome match.
That stole the show. That was the best match of the night.
That really should have ended the show, but at the same time, I can see where they're coming from by not putting that as the main event if they were going to start it off with the triple threat, because more than likely, if you end it, more people are going to think, okay, well, Ziggler, they're not going to end the show on a down note. So that totally makes sense, but at the same time...
Why not, though?
Exactly. If someone's walking away, they've done it before. Shawn Michaels, back in the, WrestleMania was it 26? 26, when the Undertaker retired him. That was the last match. So it kind of ended on a down note that, Shawn Michaels had to retire. So still, they could have done it, but most people were probably thinking, okay, if it ends it, more likely he's going to win the belt. And, you always got to end the show kind of on a happy note for the most part.
It was an amazing match, great feud, definitely the best feud in all of wrestling.
Absolutely, I think so.
By a long shot. There was a part that Broken Matt he got a little chant going on Raw. We'll talk about that in a few minutes here, which was kind of funny. But that feud continues on the following SmackDown. I will keep on saying the following night because I'm so used to saying that for a pay-per-view, but on SmackDown, the next couple nights, Dolph Spirit Squad crap again. Like,
who would have thought after all these years that the Spirit Squad? I mean, I know it's not all of them, but the fact that will actually come back again, it blows my mind.
And he beat them. But one thing, once again, maybe I'm being too critical here. I felt that Dolph Ziggler should have beat them a lot quicker than what he did. But they did start it before a commercial, and it went through a commercial break, and I do like how they're kind of running the actual show during the commercials.
Kind of like NASCAR does it.
Yeah. NASCAR does that?
NASCAR does that at times, yeah.
I don't,
a commercial
honestly,
break, and they'll show that.
NASCAR.
Some racing does that. I think IndyCar sometimes does that.
See, that's kind of a good idea.
It's a great idea,
It's a way to keep you for the preview.
There's still stuff going
ads,
on,
and then you can still keep track of the race or the match or whatever. That's a good idea. Other sport teams and everything, you may want to consider that. But yeah, so anyways, I wish he'd just beat them a little bit quicker, just to kind of show the dominance, to show that he's doing really good. But this feud is awesome, and then the promo, like when Miz came out and him and
Maurice.
Thank you, Maurice are wearing all black and they got their glasses on, and
the death of the Intercontinental title.
But Miz is right though; he is the one that brought it to its level right now. There's a lot of feuds that helped it go back to that level, but the Miz has done a lot of work, and he deserves a lot
underrated,
of credit.
He doesn't get enough credit. He's great on the mic. He's a great wrestler, and he's probably one of the best heels that's going on in WWE right now.
Oh yeah,
just listen to those promos. It's great.
I would really like to see them do this feud all over again in like 3 years or so from now for the championship.
I could definitely see the Miz going back for the championship again.
Well, especially now that there's two of them.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Give him a shot again.
You can't tell me right now that Dolph and the Miz aren't arguably just as hot as Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles.
Absolutely.
I would say they're the same level, right?
Yeah.
Probably about the same. Maybe AJ's pushing more product than everybody, but
I like the fact that Dolph is back up there because for a while there, when he had that feud with Dean, it seemed like, okay, no one really seemed to care about Dolph. And then once this feud happened, everyone really started to care again, which it should happen because the guy deserves it.
Oh,
He's a workhorse.
He got the "You Deserve It" chant.
Yeah.
Or chant. "You Deserve It" chant on SmackDown. Shout out to the boy Dolph Ziggler doing some work right now. He deserves it. Naomi, she defeated Alexa Bliss at the pay-per-view because
Becky Lynch, some sort of medical injury. I don't know. They said it was nothing to do with in-ring competition. It was something happened, so I don't know exactly what, but she's going to be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, hopefully it's soon. I think
they
she'll
announced,
be back.
Yeah, I think they announced like there's going to be the match between Alexa and Becky sometime next month in Scotland or something like that.
Okay.
So
is that going to be a network exclusive?
I think it's actually going to be SmackDown, so it's going to be SmackDown Live, but it's going to be taped since it's overseas.
Oh yeah. Wow, from Scotland. I can't remember them going to Scotland before.
They probably have. I know they've gone over.
Or they haven't made a big deal out of it or whatever like that. That's.
I know they've done plenty in England and the UK over there, but I don't know if they've ever really done Scotland. So
they're kind of giving Naomi a little push though,
right
now,
they are,
right?
Sure.
She's kind of revamped. She's doing her little rave thing. I mean, I understand Alexa Bliss saying she got dizzy and she wasn't feeling right from all the crazy lights and the rave that she had to go to. That's why she lost at No Mercy. She could beat Naomi any day of the week and twice on Sunday. But the reason she couldn't because she wasn't ready for the rave.
She wasn't ready for the rave, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of good. That's a little.
I like that promo.
I like that right there. And then Nikki Bella defeated Carmella at the pay-per-view as well, which we all seen that coming, which was actually...
I was actually kind of thinking Carmella might have won because they really seemed to be pushing her more and more, and it seemed like that Nikki just couldn't quite beat her. So.
But she's the female Cena.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
she's now got the denim booty shorts going now, much like Cena's got the jorts. She's got the denim booty shorts now. So I was like, really? Seriously? Really?
It's so funny.
Really?
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 Really? So, but Nikki, it was a great match, actually. I wasn't expecting it to be that good of a match. I'm still a little nervous with Nikki, to be honest with you. And neck injuries,
it's
it's
nothing
scary.
to mess with, yeah.
And I felt like she's took some crazy bumps over the past couple of weeks. Like, she really helped. Carmella looks like a legitimate contender now in the division, where I would say when she first started, she didn't really look like she was up to Nikki level or Becky level. And the same as Alexa Bliss. I gotta give it to Alexa. Alexa looks like she can compete for being a small girl, very petite, all that. She looks like she can compete. You gotta give it to Becky and Nikki.
Absolutely.
Doing what
She's
veterans
a little ball
do.
of fire, that's for sure.
But then on SmackDown, Naomi beat Carmella. So do you think are they gonna give a little bit more of a push to Naomi or Carmella? Or is this going to be a feud now, these two?
I don't know. I don't know where they're going with that. But from what I'm kind of hearing, that they're saying that Naomi more likely that they might push her into the whole title picture. So maybe eventually we might have a triple threat with her, Alexa, and Becky. So we'll see where that goes.
That'd be pretty good right there. I'm definitely be interested in that. This Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton thing has picked up, and
especially since Luke Harper has come back on the scene.
Yep. Bray Wyatt defeated Randy Orton, which I'm so happy that he got the win at the pay-per-view.
They needed to give Bray the win.
He
needed that win.
I've been complaining about that forever. Like if he's supposed to be a beast, freaking let him win some damn matches. Like, why is Kane winning over Bray Wyatt?
Yeah,
like, it's like at the end of the day, why? It don't make no sense. But now it looks like Randy and Kane are kind of teaming up, and Randy's now going to he's going to Bray's world. Now it's time to go to his world. I don't know how this is going to play out here.
Not sure myself.
I've never really seen Randy Orton like this.
No, it's like he's never really done anything like this at all. So it's like something different side of Randy we've never seen before, which I'm digging. You know, it's because he's always been this one-dimensional type character, and the fact that he's doing this now, Let's see where it goes. I dig it.
How do you feel about the return of Luke Harper? You brought it up briefly for a second.
I like it. I mean, I think Bray needed somebody with him because I think Eric Rowan is out for a few months again. He got some sort of injury.
Oh, wow.
So I think the initial plan was to put Luke on Raw.
Okay.
But with the injury to Eric Rowan, they decided, okay, Bray needs someone with him. Let's put him
I
back.
thought those two looked good as a combination anyways right there. Like, that's the Wyatt family, those two. And then you could throw in whoever if you want a third person. But if those two are together, that's a dominant
That's a little more
force.
spooky looking, you know?
Oh, yeah, because...
I mean, Eric,
Luke is very...
Eric, when he's wearing the whole sheet mask and stuff like that, it's a little intimidating, but then he takes it off. It's like, okay, he's a big...
Luke looks like a crazy lunatic,
exactly.
like, all the time.
Exactly.
And they defeated Randy Orton and Kane on SmackDown this past week. So it kind of shows that, hey, the Wyatt, now that Bray's got, like, Luke here, he might be that dominant force
pushing him
again.
up towards the...
He just defeated Randy Orton and Kane.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I give it up to Randy Orton. It was a pretty good match. Orton definitely, helped Bray look really good in that match, but I wasn't expecting... That was another match that exceeded my expectations. A lot of good stuff with SmackDown. SmackDown is a very, very good show right now.
I'm loving it.
Storylines are like, 8 out of 10 of them are really good, and the wrestling is good. I gotta say, SmackDown, my favorite wrestlers are on Raw, but my favorite stuff going on is on SmackDown. Yeah. So I can't think of what I like more on on Raw than
Well, I can say I love
SmackDown.
Jericho.
Yeah, that's good.
He's like one of the best things right now. I love
But
that.
my favorite wrestlers are like Owens and that line of people, so it just falls into it. But he might, I don't know. I think the hottest feud is definitely Dolph and Miz, right?
Yep.
Best character is Jericho.
I will agree.
And we'll get talking about Jericho in just a few minutes here. Also, Keith Slater and Rhino defeated the Usos.
Which kind of surprised me. I thought they were going to
take
the belts off of those two, but who knows where the Usos go from here.
Because they've been definitely giving them a big push recently, I would definitely say. I really do dig the new look of the Usos. They need it. They got rid of the paint. They're wearing like street clothes, and they're just like badass dudes out there putting work in, and that's what they need. And that's similar to what I think they should do for Roman Reigns, too. Maybe the trials on the Usos to see what happens with them, and then maybe because Reigns does need something. If Roman Reigns was to switch to similar style to how the Usos are right now, I think the fans would really dig that, to be honest with you. I think that could be what they need to make that flip.
Mm-hmm.
Because he needs... But at the end of the day, he still draws a reaction, so does he really need anything, I guess?
Probably not.
It's like Cena. Does he really need to turn a bad guy? Or into a heel?
Some type of reaction is a good reaction as far as Vince goes.
Right.
Vince goes. You're going to boom, boom, okay, whatever. You're going to cheer. At least he's getting something.
Like, Kevin Owens said that other than John Cena, when you're standing in the center of the ring and he comes out being loud, the next loudest is Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. Because it's just like a showering of boos and cheers. It's like 50-50 type split.
Pretty much.
All right, so let's talk about Owens and Jericho and what's going on there. So the wedge it's starting to be forced in between Owens and Jericho because is it a triple threat now?
It's not. No,
it's not
because
a triple
Jericho
threat.
lost that match.
Okay, I'm trying to find it here on the paper and I just can't find it. Yeah, so basically what happened was if Jericho beat Seth Rollins on Raw...
Yeah, he would be put into that
triple threat match.
He'd be put into a triple threat match, yeah.
And for the WWE Championship, and Owens came out and was like helping Jericho out, and it looked like he kind of wanted Jericho in the triple threat match. Does he feel that Jericho would just like lay down for him and stuff? Do you think that's what it is?
I don't know where they're going with that either, to tell you the truth. So.
Because they kind of make it look like there's points of times where Owens looks like he's kind of disgusted with
Jericho.
Jericho, and then then he's out there helping him. I would have thought that he would have screwed him over. That's what I thought was going to come from him, but I guess not with that. So now the next pay-per-view is not this weekend, right? But the following week,
weeks,
right?
Yeah.
So we got one more Raw before the next pay-per-view.
Yes.
Rollins has been fighting everybody right now. He's kind of becoming one versus everybody, kind of like the old Roman Reigns, like the
One versus all.
So what do you think is going on here with like Rollins? Is he going to eventually get some help of like Stephanie, or do you think is he going to get screwed over again by Stephanie and the Authority, because he keeps fighting the Authority? So there has to be something. Can we get the return of Triple H? Is that going to come maybe at the pay-per-view?
That I would think.
Hell in a Cell?
I mean, there's so much talk about that's going to be the big thing with Seth against Triple H, but right now I don't think he's going to be getting help from anyone. It seems like he seems to be on his own with this whole thing. So I have to just wait and see where it's going to go, because I don't know exactly where they're going with Seth's character. Is he going to end up teaming with somebody to get help or what?
I like him kind of doing stuff on his own right now, because his first title run was all about help. So if his next title run's him doing it himself, I think that's
the best way to go.
That's a good look for him right there. It kind of really makes him look like a dominant person that he deserves. A great feud going on. I love the list. I love when they're doing the promo when Owens and Jericho were in the ring, and Jericho put Stephanie on the list and Foley on the list, and then he crosses them out when he finds out he's going to get a match where he could possibly be in the mix for the title and everything. And then there is a little thing, backstage between him and Owens, and he's like, "Oh, looks like you crossed him out," and he's like, "Oh, don't look at my list," and kind of walked off and all that stuff. So it's happening. I think that Owens might drop the belt coming up soon, and then we might maybe get a little Jericho Owens feud.
I'm not quite. Like I said, I just don't know where they're going to go with this.
Jericho disappear?
Because there's talk that Jericho's going to disappear after this pay-per-view. So I don't know.
That's a shame.
Because he's got such a great gimmick going on right now.
You can't lose it.
The whole thing with the list of Jericho, you're going on the list. I can't see them just letting him go away. But if he's already got commitments and he's doing other things, you can totally understand. But it's like at this point, you don't want it to happen,
It's so good.
It's so hot right now.
And then also, speaking of something being hot, when Seth was cutting the promo, he said, "Then you'll be obsolete," and everybody was like, delete.
Yeah, I heard that. As soon as he said obsolete, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, he gave like that look, like you know what I'm talking about. All you smarks, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Here. Really enjoying that. Another big announcement we'll close out the show. We're talking about the Goldberg and Brock Lesnar situation, all that stuff. Another big announcement, which we've said...
We were actually talking about this,
is that the women's match...
will be a Hell in a Cell match.
And
First time ever.
We've been
we talked about that a few
for,
weeks ago. Yeah. Like, will they actually do it? And finally they are.
Look at that. You get, like, breaking news weeks in advance right here on Scottplex City. That's why it's good for you to... tell your friends about it, because or listen and talk about what we talk about and be like, hey, and look like the big man on campus. I just like to gloat sometimes when we can.
But it does make me wonder though, are they going to do it like any sort of real 6 spots in the cell, or is it just going to be a
with
typical
those
match?
Two, I would think they're going to do something.
A cage around it. That makes me wonder. Are they going to risk anything, them getting hurt or whatever? That's my only thought.
I would think they're going to try to do something special.
I would hope so.
Those two, they always try to have one crazy highlight in their match. Really looking forward to that. That's going to be something very special to watch right there. First one ever. 2 great women wrestlers right there. Bayley, she's been doing her thing right now, and we'll get to see Bayley in the mix sooner than later. They're just really building her up. They gave her another jobber this past on Raw. Who else jobbed out? There was another job. And then
Braun Strowman. He wants tougher competition. So instead of giving him 1 jobber, let's give him 2 jobbers. That's really tough.
Yeah. And then he said, if I get another job next week, not real competition, what happens it's because of you.
It's going to be on your head, yeah.
So this is actually something's actually starting to come of this whole
Who are
thing.
they going to give him? That's what I want to know. That makes me want to watch.
It's going to be like Big Show.
Probably, because he's like getting toward the end of his run.
Yeah, Big Show. Somebody
Because
that.
there's the talk about him against Shaquille O'Neal at WrestleMania, and that's going to probably be his last match. So, if to put Big Show in there for that final run and have him job out to Strowman,
yeah,
so be it.
Why not put Braun Strowman over right now? He could use it. Sami Zayn and Neville teamed up to beat Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Hey, I haven't seen Bo Dallas or Axel in a very, very long time. I was actually surprised that they put.
Well,
Sammy
for a while
and
they
Neville
were doing
together.
the whole thing with Bo. He was doing his own thing, and then Axel finally came back. Bring back the Outcast there.
I'd like to see Neville go to the cruiserweight division. Sin Cara
has.
He's in.
He looks so too big to be in it.
He looks a lot bigger.
I mean, Neville, yes, he looks like he should be there, but Sin Cara, they say he's under the 205 pounds, but he just looks so damn big.
I know. It's just probably because he's so athletic and he does all the flying stuff that they're like, oh, he'll be great here in that division. That T.J. Perkins and what's his name? Kevin, what's his name?
Oh, the Brian Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick, yeah, Brian Kendrick. That storyline's kind of picking
I
up
like
here.
it.
I like how
I
they're
like it.
connecting the old days. Like, hey, remember when you used to pick me up, bring me to the matches, all this stuff, and now look at you. And
You have a real personal feel to it, yeah.
so they're actually doing something with the cruiserweight division, which is something I was hoping for. Like, great matches, but now there's like some substance.
Some storylines to it, yeah.
And that's what I really, truly think is going to get this cruiserweight division to be one of the hottest things in wrestling. Because the cruiserweight championship series, that was awesome, and that had no storylines. You put a little story behind it and get people really like connected to the wrestlers. It could be something very, very special. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they attacked Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
So there's a feud right there.
So it looks like that's what's coming next, and I think that's best for both of them.
Absolutely.
But I really, truly, as much as I don't want them to, I think it's best for Gallows and Anderson to go over in this feud. They need some wins right now. Something to build them up
Something
and
to build
make
them
them
up and maybe
strong.
finally win those belts that they should have.
Right. So also Sasha Banks and Roman Reigns, they defeated Charlotte and Rusev on Raw.
That wasn't a bad match.
Bad match.
And that sick spear that Roman Reigns did to Rusev, he jumped over Sasha and there's like gifs or gifs or whatever the hell they call those things all over social media, and you just see him flying right at him.
But he's not athletic,
awesome.
and he's not a good wrestler, right?
He's not a good wrestler. He
can't do anything, right? All he does is that drop kick and
the Superman
punch. That's
it.
all he can do, right?
That's all he can do. Can't do anything else.
No, nothing.
Can't carry a match at all.
He's a horrible wrestler. I just love when people do stuff like. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Roman Reigns, but I respect the work he does.
The guy can work.
He's a hell of a freaking worker.
He's been putting on some great matches lately.
Sasha Banks and Charlotte, the feud is really, really awesome. We kind of touched on it real quick, but I liked how when they were cutting the promo and then Rusev came out, it's like, oh, you're not important. And then Roman comes out and steps in. That's how we get that match to come together there. So we'll see if this actually leads to anything. Maybe Roman and Sasha start some type of little group, or maybe... I don't know. I don't see Rusev with Charlotte at all.
No, those two just don't like each other.
Sasha and Roman kind of actually had a good little feel together. But then, speaking of good feel together, I wasn't a big fan of this until it's actually in motion now and here. And after seeing Paul Heyman cut this promo and hearing it, and then seeing how Goldberg responded and everything, I was like, oh, I'm in. I am all in now. I want to see this. So, Raw, Paul Heyman calls out Goldberg, says the one blemish on Brock Lesnar's record is his loss to Goldberg. And then, take it away, Scotty.
Well, so many years ago, we had that match with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. You thought, oh, this is a dream match. It's going to be great. Then all of a sudden, the rumors came out. Lesnar's going to the NFL. He's going to leave wrestling. And then you hear, oh, this is Goldberg's last match in WWE. You're still looking forward to the match. It's going to be good. And the match happens, and it pretty much stinks up the joint.
It was horrible.
Everyone was...
That's why I didn't care about it.
And this was like pre-Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, stuff was just leaking out there online and all that stuff. So everyone started cheering Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was the guest referee. He was like the highlight of the match. And so the match sucked. So a lot of people are online saying, well, I don't really want to see this match. The last time they were in, it sucked.
Like me.
But the whole thing is, with Lesnar leaving for the NFL, Goldberg, that's his last match, they basically were kind of like, I don't care. You know, they just kind of, let's just do this.
Whatever. Mail it in.
Just mail it in, yeah. Now, this time, I think they're going to actually put something into this. And it's not going to be, a classic, technical match or anything like that. But it's going to be something, it's going to invest your interest. Especially if Paul Heyman's in there. Because you got to think, the last time, Paul Heyman wasn't in it. He wasn't, at that point, the advocate of Brock
Lesnar.
Because they had, obviously he was beforehand, but at that point, they had, they had gone their separate ways and whatever after Heyman screwed over Brock and all of that with the Big Show and all that kind of stuff. But now you have Heyman, who's going to be doing probably more promos as we lead up to this. And anything that Heyman touches, when he starts doing a promo, it turns to gold.
Exactly.
He can just promote anything. He's just that damn good.
And they're going to want this feud more than they wanted it last time, Brock and Goldberg. And don't doubt Goldberg, too, because I know that he's been putting a lot of work in MMA gyms and stuff. Yeah. So I think
the guy's still jacked.
I think he's just about ring ready.
Yeah.
I would say, what do you think's the best time for them to do this pay-per-view?
There was talk that it was going to be Survivor Series. I think the best time would be Royal Rumble because it's going to be in the Alamo Dome. Big place. Big event. Why not have not only the Royal Rumble there, but also Brock versus Goldberg?
Because sell tickets.
Yeah, because, to do WrestleMania, that'd be a little too long and probably be another feud for
Survivor Series a little soon.
Yeah, a little too soon. Put it Royal Rumble. So Lesnar, if Lesnar goes over, then maybe you have Lesnar in a title fight at WrestleMania.
Hey.
Or we do it this way. Another thought that just ran through my head. That Goldberg goes over and Lesnar's so pissed off after the match that he takes someone out, takes someone's number, and the Royal Rumble wins it. There's another idea.
Ooh.
Don't steal my idea, WWE.
Maybe steal it.
They might, yeah.
But
steal it, but give me some credit.
Money. Screw the credit. Give them money.
Give me some money, yeah.
Credit's okay, whatever. Like you could get a whole pack.
Pat on the back right
Yeah, a little pack in bed, all that. That's good, but give me money. I want some money, damn it. All right, there's your creative guy for this feud, WWE, Scotty B. You could get at him on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. How they do that?
Find me on Twitter at ScottyB1976, Scotty Bizzle76 on the Instagram, and Scotty Blaine on Facebook. That is Scotty with an I-E, not a Y.
Check me out at Scott Radio. That pretty much covers everything this week, right?
I think so.
Because I kind of just wrapped it up there because it was just perfect. But now I'm kind of delaying the perfect wrap-up. All right, so
get the hell out of
here. Subscribe to Scottplex City. You can search Scottplex City or Panks Podcast in iTunes. It'll come up as Panks Podcast, but Scottplex City is right there. Subscribe. You'll get notified when we drop a show every Wednesday. On Thursdays, the video edition comes out. You'll see that on our social medias. Check us out. Tell your friends about the show. We appreciate you listening. Enjoy your week. And, hey, there's no wrestling this weekend.
No pay-per-view.
Easy week coming up. Wow. All right. Scottplex City. Scottplex City.
Marks.
Scottplex City.
Marks.
Scottplex City.
Marks.
Scottplex City.
Marks.